Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Welcome to the Policy Committee meeting for Tuesday, May 7th, 2023. And we look as if we have a relatively brief agenda today, and it is all around health-related issues. So before we get into that, though, we do need to approve our minutes from our last meeting. So, Michael, it looks as if you and I are the only two Board of Ed representatives here. So I don't know if you had a chance to look through the minutes from last month's meeting.
I did. They look fine to me.
Same here. Same here. All right. So would you like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
Yep. So moved.
Great. And I second. And I think that that's also a vote then. So meeting minutes are approved for last month's meeting. All right. So let's just dive right into it. And Kristen is here today to discuss our various policies regarding health and that have been on the books since 1990. And for those who have had the opportunity to take a look at the policies in the agenda, they are antiquated to say the least. So would you like to go ahead and take it from here, Kristen?
Sure. I'm looking to sunset these two policies. It's Board of Ed policy number 5141.2, which is our illness policy, and our policy 5141.22, which is our students afflicted with communicable diseases. These were dated to be last updated in 1990 and have not been updated since. CABE is no longer requiring that districts have an illness policy. I am more in favor of going towards a sick day guidance for the district, which is what all the other local districts are doing, including Westport, Norwalk, Greenwich, Darien, Bridgeport, Trumbull, Ridgefield. Essentially, everybody does not have an illness policy on the books anymore. They have what's called a sick day guidance or procedures. It's put on the district health website, and it has a clear list of what you should be keeping your child home for. So fever of 100.4, or above, and it's very concise. It's very easy to understand. There's less wiggle room, I would say. Our policies currently, as they stand, leave it open to interpretation because it does not state what a fever is. It doesn't state, anything specific. It's kind of left up to the nursing judgment, and I want everything to be consistent across the district and also very clear to parents what the expectations are. I don't know if I can upload it or somewhere. I do have a sick day guidance that I did create for the district, and that was in combination with, I discussed it with my nurses, I discussed it with our medical director, and I also discussed it with the different building principals so that we all had a chance to look at it and make any recommendations. And these I created with not only reviewing other districts' sick policies, but also the CDC, the DPH, all the governmental health agencies that make these rulings. So I can send out that guidance if you want, or did anybody want to see it before moving forward with this?
So you're suggesting, and just correct me if I'm wrong, you're suggesting that we don't have an official policy, but we instead have guidelines.
No, I don't want an official policy because, as we saw with the pandemic, medicine moves very quickly in recommendations and state law. We're following the state law, and that's what's going to happen with these sick policies anyway. If the state says, you have to stay home for a certain amount of time, we're following CDC guidelines. I don't want to have to come to a policy meeting and wait 3 months for our policy to state, because I've had multiple parents, lawyers, parent lawyers show me this 1990 policy saying my child has a fever, but nowhere in your policy does it say that I have to keep them home. And I have to show them where it says, nursing judgment for communicable disease. And I just want it where I can point to where it says in our district guidelines for illness, how we make our decisions and where we got these guidelines from. So
I think that makes sense. Michael, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I assume, Kristen, that it's pretty standard.
It's very
across the
standard.
district.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's essentially what your doctor's office would provide you a note for clearance. Like, you need to be fever free for 24 hours. You know, you have to be free of draining lesions. You know, it's very standard across all districts. But parents had a lot of pushback this year, so I want everything very clear. I've asked the principals to include it in the handbook so that it's in there that the parents have to sign off on it at the beginning of the year. So when it's news to them that, you know, this is the policy, it's already been signed off on by them and it's already available, you know, in very simple terms on our health websites.
Okay, I have just one question for clarification. You said that you've received a lot of pushback this year from a variety of parents. Is there a specific area in particular where they're pushing back? Is it the fever?
Fevers,
So they
pink eye, you know, just in general, their children, usually it happens at the elementary school level.
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot of new people to the district at that level, and you know, it is an inconvenience when your child cannot be in school, especially after a fever. If your fever, you know, if you were sent home by the nurse with a fever the day before, you have to stay home the next day because you're not fever free 24 hours. So that language is clearly stated in our new guidelines, so that there's no surprises, you know, that sort of thing. Just the issues that we've come up, you know, and probably have come up year after year. I just want it clearly stated so that everybody's on the same page. People can make accommodations knowing that this is the expectation, and so that there are no surprises.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there's also updates to our lice policy as well.
Makes sense.
So,
Yeah. I'm living it, Kristen. I'm living it.
Yes.
Between lice and pink eye being rampant around elementary school.
In all districts, in all walks of life, every single district has the same issues. Every single school nurse has the same complaints from parents, and you know, it's not effective to have nurses doing broad checks of students because we don't have the time or the proper, you know, situation. We need, you know, nice, wet, combed, conditioned hair with lice combs and multiple hours for each child. So it's best left to the parents with some education. So that is also a new guideline to put in there, with the addition of, if we do get two parents reporting lice to us within a week in the same class, we will be sending out a memo instead of our current guidelines, which were, if we find lice on more than one child in the school, then we will send out a memo. So that does make it a little bit more, you may get a little bit more, a few more emails regarding lice, but at least then people will be notified sooner, so that it just gets on the radar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Michael, don't worry. At some point in time, your children will hit high school.
Yeah, I mean, my kids have had it. I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's terrible, but
it's a pain. But
there.
luckily, high school, rare, and I'm knocking on wood for you right now, but rare is it to have lice in high school. They seem to not kind of.
They're not on top of each other, puddling in every
No.
in every walk of life.
I'm done with
we
that.
haven't used this much hairspray in probably decades in this house.
But it looks good on you, Michael. It looks good on you. That's funny. Yeah, no, you got to be really. It's not fun, but it happens. It happens. So, all right, perfect. Well, I think that's good. I think that I'm trying to think of what the process is with the board, and this is where Jody is so helpful. I think we just take it to the board and say we want to sunset this, and I don't think there's any second read or anything like that. So I think that will most likely be going to our May meeting. Is that June? Are you in? Are you familiar with any of this?
June, we can't hear you, but you're correct. That's what we'll do.
Okay. All right. And I mean, I think, well, Kristen, you very, very thoroughly covered both 5141.2 and 5141.22. Both of them, I think, are pretty much covered by what you said, unless there's
and if
anything.
you want, I can send you the guidelines that will be put on the website, as well as put in the handbook, so that you, in case anybody at the meeting wants to see it.
Well, that would be great, Kristen.
Yeah, I think that there
What's
will
the
be
best
people.
way for me sharing? Email or?
Yeah, if you want to send it to me, I will send it out to David and no, sorry, not David, to Steve, Stephen and Michael, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And we'll also have it as part of the agenda when we do sunset. We'll say this is what.
Yeah, so that they know that it's not that nothing's going to be in place.
Exactly.
It's just a replacement with something that can be updated in real time if needed.
Yep. No, that's smart.
Yep.
That's smart. Excellent. Okay. Do we need to take a vote on taking it to the meeting? Anyone know? These are the details.
I don't believe so. We
Okay.
just kind of agree to move it forward.
Yep. All right.
Agreed.
So
I think
Yeah.
we're good.
all right. All right. So that is through discussion of policies, regulations, and bylaws. Any future thoughts right now? I mean, the year's winding down. Do we have any other policies, Lisa, or anything that we need to discuss? Or is there anything in the hopper for next month?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, and Jody is the one that usually kind of keeps the list. But she'll be back tomorrow. Ethan is returning from Boulder.
Okay.
So I will double check with her. There could be a few other ones that are similar to this, like get rid of
The
them. get rid of them.
COVID-19 one.
Hmm?
I said there's still a COVID-19 one that's somewhat obsolete.
Okay.
Yeah, and so any ones that are like this, we can do at the next meeting to kind of close it out, which would be really helpful. As
Perfect.
far as any big ones, Tina, I don't think there's some that we know that we need to review, but it's not going to be done next month. We'll
Okay.
take a little bit more time, I think.
Yeah,
All right.
not from me.
Perfect. Well, then I said that this meeting
Good
is going to
job.
be short and sweet. I think that's it. All right. So as of now, not as of now, our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 4th, 9:00. And if there's nothing else to discuss, Michael, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, so moved.
Record time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And we will we'll see everybody in June. Well, actually, we'll see everybody at the meeting in May
Sure.
20th.
Thank
right?
you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks, Kristen. Okay.
All right. Bye bye.